Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Christian. I'm actually an Atlanta real estate broker here in the beautiful state of Georgia. Um, yeah, this is my first video, so thanks for watching. Welcome to my channel as well. So I look to make content, for agents out there that are looking to, grow their business, help their families, and accomplish their goals. So I look to make consistent content from this point on with a little bit of goofiness and a little bit of personality. So I hope you like my content from this point on. But yeah, let's get straight to it. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Let's get straight to it. So I'm gonna show you how to get one listing a week. Okay, one listing a week. One listing a week. Not zero, not -2, not -3. If that's possible, I know that's possible. But one listing a week. Okay. So let's get straight to it. And this is without any type of paid advertising, Zillow leads, anything of that magnitude. Okay, so let's get straight to it. How do you get one listing a week, Christian? How is it done? First and foremost, you have to call expireds. You have to call expireds. That's first and foremost, okay? So calling expireds is probably one of the most challenging thing, but the most rewarding thing. The cool thing about it is they're the lowest hanging fruit on the totem pole, and you know that they want to sell, okay? They've already raised their hand, they said, I want to sell. Now, if you can tell me that if there's any other lead out there that tells you that they want to sell like an expired does, with open houses, with paid advertising, with Zillow leads, please tell me, because I don't know. I feel like they're the hottest leads in real estate. They're the most challenging, but they're the hottest leads in real estate. And the cool thing about it is there's no guessing. There's no guessing. There's no them coming in and asking you, can you get an inquiry on my property? I just want to know the home value, and thinking they're a lead and they're not. There's no calling them, hey, Tom, have you thought about, selling in the next year? No, there's no guessing. We know Tom wants to sell because he's had his property in the market. It just didn't sell. And it's your job as the agent to ask Tom, hey, Tom, listen, I seen you had your property in the market. I won't get into any type of scripture or anything, but, find out his problem and motivation, from that point on. And, the scripts and the problem and motivation and things of that magnitude, we'll get that into, and get into that in, a whole nother video. That's a different, story for another day. But it's your job as an agent to call, that expired and figure out, what needs to be done and what happened with that property not being able to sell the first time around. So you could, one thing I know some agents, they call, they say, hey, listen, Tom, if you don't list with me, I'm gonna, and I'm gonna come over here, I'm just being funny, but it is your job to figure out, what needs to be done, or what happened with the property not selling beforehand. So that's one. So calling expireds is number one. Okay. Number two is you have to call for long periods of time. Now, there's a stigma in real estate that you should call for 4 hours. Okay. Now, if you want to fail, you can call for 4 hours. Now, I call expires every day. Okay. I'm calling if I don't have appointments, I'm usually on the phone at least 7 to 8 hours a day, okay? So you need to call for a long period of time, at a minimum 6 hours a day, at a minimum. And that's if you have business, okay? Now, if you have no business, you need to be on the phone from 8 to 8 all day, every day, okay? All day, every day, 8 to 8 if you have no business. Now, if you have business and you're dealing with clientele, I would recommend a minimum of 6 to 6, but not 8 to 12. And, you deal with clients, from, 1 to 8 or whatever the case may be. That's the stigma in real estate. Call from 8 to 12 and, you deal with clients throughout the day. No. You need to be on the phone really all day, but at a minimum 6 hours. And I'm sure there's going to be some people that say, Christian, I can't do it, all day. All day is hard. To be on the phone all day is a hard thing. I get it. It's not an easy thing. It's definitely, mentally draining as you're talking to people throughout the day. So here's what I suggest. Cut it up within 2-hour increments throughout the day. 2 hours here, 2 hours here, 2 hours here, until it all adds up to 6 hours or 8 hours. But it can't be 4 hours. 4 hours is not going to get it done at all. It's not. Because a lot of times when you're calling these people, other agents are calling these people as well. And the longer you call, the more times, or the more, what's the word I'm looking for? The more opportunities you're going to get to be able to talk to as many expireds as possible. Because you don't really talk to a lot of them, but the key is to talk to as many as you can as possible to put yourself in a position to be able to show that expired your value or show that seller your value to be able to get the appointment. Okay. So number 2, call for long periods of time, not 4 hours. I want to reiterate myself, not 4 hours. Now you can do 4 hours if you want to fail, but if you want to succeed, which I'm sure everybody on this video wants to succeed and, feed their families and accomplish their goals, you need to be on the phone at a minimum 6 hours. I know because I'm on the phone at least 7 to 8 hours if I don't have appointments without blinking. Okay. That's number 2. Now, sorry, I got something in my eye. Sorry. Number 3, try. Okay. Number 3, try. Okay. Be consistent. Now, this is not a game of, one day, I wake up, I feel like calling expires today. I'm going to call them. And then tomorrow you don't do it. It doesn't, no. Commit to a time and stick to it. If you say you're going to do it, do it. Now, being consistent, and I'm not going to get into this other thing, this self-discipline and all this other stuff. I won't get into that. So that's a whole other video for another day. But being consistent has a lot to do with self-discipline and doing it when you don't feel like it, okay? That's going to play a huge part in being consistent. So you have to be consistent if you decide to call expires. Or if you really, AKA, if you really want one listing a week or you decide to go on a journey of getting one listing a week, okay? You have to be consistent every single day. You need to be on the phone. If you commit to from a 12 to 2 p.m., a 12 to 2 p.m. I'm sorry, I misspoke. 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., commit to it. If you committed to calling, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, another 2 hours late in the afternoon, and another 2 hours early in the evening, commit to it. Do what you say you're going to do, but you have to be consistent. That's the only way it's going to work. So every single day. Now, if you have no business, and I know I keep going back to this, if you have no business, you need to be calling at least 6 days a week. In my professional opinion, 7 days. But I know a lot of people don't like calling on Sundays, but call 6 days a week. Like I said, I will call 7, but call 6 days a week. 6 days, okay? And like I said before, at a minimum 6 hours. So we're talking Monday through Saturday at a minimum 6 hours a day. Now, if it was me, I would call 7 to 8 hours a day if I have no business. Now, if you have no business, you need to be calling it all day. And I know I keep repeating myself, but like I said, repetition is the key to success, and that's the only way I'm going to be able to get my point across. So, like I said before, 8 to 8 if you have no business. And if you have business, which I completely understand because this is going to drum up a lot of business for you, you need to be calling at least a minimum of 6 hours a day, okay? So that's number 3, okay? That's number 3. Now, I'm looking at my notes. See, I'm trying to make this a great video for you. Number 4, follow-ups. Follow up. Now, the fortune's in the follow-up, okay? Now, a lot of times, there's gonna be times where people are exhausted, when you first talk to them on the phone, especially, these expireds, because they've had their property on the market. They've been making their bed over and over and over again for 6 months and haven't got any offers, and it hasn't sold. So a lot of times they're going to be exhausted. And sometimes you have to respect that. Sometimes you don't have, any objection handler that you have based on their objections that they give you, you just can't get past because they want to wait and they have their mind made up, which is okay. That happens sometimes. But from that point on, you have to figure out when they want to be contacted again. And most of the time, I say cut that time in half, or even cut it 50%, or even cut it 75% and call even earlier. But you find out when they're looking to list the property again, and it's up to you to follow up. Now, this is huge. Really, all of them are huge. This is absolutely huge. You know why? Because most agents don't follow up. Your competition, these other agents that are calling these expireds, they're not following up with these people. They're not following up. So really, at the end of the day, it's going to be a game of the last man standing. And if you're the agent that's following up with them over and over and over and over again, you're going to be the last agent standing, and you're going to be the agent that ends up getting the listing. Because to be honest, most of the people that call expireds are looking for quick listings, and a lot of the times they're going to fall to the wayside, and you're going to be the last agent standing to get that listing, okay? So follow up. This is so critical, okay? The fortune's in the follow-up. And if you master that, you're going to be almost t- 10 billion miles away in front of other agents because every agent is looking for that quick commission check. But if you just trust the process and the follow-up process, you're going to get the listing. And that is my word, okay? There's been so many listings I've had or so many opportunities I've got because I've out-followed up so many agents because a lot of agents lost faith or they're looking for the next, the next woman in the shiny red dress or, the next shiny thing. That was probably a bad analogy. But, the next shiny thing, okay? So that's number 4. Following up. Okay, now I'm looking at through my notes. Okay, so number 4, like I said, following up. I'm gonna keep saying that. Follow up. Okay, so number 5. Excuse me. Be mentally tough. Okay, now a lot of times when you guys call these sellers, a lot of times these sellers are going to be really mad or pissed off that they didn't get their goal accomplished. And a lot of times they've been contacted from other agents that have been calling them over and over and over and over again. Okay. So the thing about it is this. For you have to understand it's just part of the game. Okay. It's just part of the game. So once you understand it's just part of the game, your mental toughness is going to skyrocket. Okay. Because once you understand that once you're calling these people, there's a possibility that they're going to be mad or other agents have called them. That's okay, but you have to be mentally tough and keep pushing. And a lot of times they might say stuff to you for you to stop you from continue to not only call them but call other people in a long haul or call other people after you get off the phone with them or just stop calling people in general. You have to be mentally tough and just keep pushing. No matter what they say, no matter what they say they're going to do, you just have to keep pushing. If you can develop mental toughness, you're going to be ahead of so many other people out there, ahead of so many other agents out there. And that's just the truth. Because I've had people on the phone who tell me, F off, this and that. And you just laugh. I mean, it's part of the process. But I want you to know this, and this is a golden nugget, okay? When you first call Fresh Expired, this is like, I'm really about to put you on some real game. When you first call Fresh Expires, a lot of times they're going to say not interested. They might hang up on you because there's so many agents reaching out to them, okay? And they're going to say a lot of times, oh, I'm not interested or F off or this, that, and the other. What you don't do is take them off the list. Keep them on the list, okay? Especially if they're fresh expireds, okay? Keep them on the list. You know why I say that? Because a lot of times when you call them again, they're not going to remember who you are because they've been contacted and they've talked to so many agents. And they're so mad. So do not take them off the list. Keep them on the list. So when you come back around that list and you talk to them again, a lot of times they might be a lot calmer because the calls are going to die down day by day. And they'll be willing to talk to you. And that is a way for you to get your foot in the door and figure out what their problem and motivation is. Like I said before, that's for another video. But what their problem and motivation is. And then from that point on, you can schedule a listing appointment, get your foot in the door, and get the listing and get paid. So mental toughness is huge. This is not a game for the weak because these are the hottest leads in the market, but they're the most challenging. And it's going to take mental toughness, perseverance, and persistence and consistency, which I said earlier, to get these listings and to get these people nailed down to be able to get paid and create that business relationship to be able to expand and get referrals out of that business, which is what we all want. We want one listing, and then we want one listing to turn into 10 listings, which is the possibility from all the, the clients that we get from that point on. So the last but not least, and I'm looking at my notes. All right, number six, okay? I think I was number 6, right? I think it was number 6. I might be off. If I'm off, I'm sorry. This is my first video, so. Number 6, call on the weekends. Now, I know you're not going to like this. Weekends, I like to be with my family, I like to go, I like to pet my turtle. No. You need to be calling on the weekends. Okay, now, I know people are like, I want to go enjoy family and do this, and, I want to go to the zoo and play with the gorillas. No, you need to call on the weekends. The weekends are so gold because every agent out there is enjoying their weekend, and this is your competition, all right? Especially the agents that are calling expires. A lot of times they're going to die down, they're going to fall off, and they don't call during the weekends. That is for you to get market share. That is huge. So the list let's say you called a list, on Tuesday and on Monday and Tuesday, okay? And let's say the list was a week ago, or a week ago, whatever the case may be. Well, so on that weekend, and let's say you didn't get nobody from that list, okay? On that weekend, call that list again. Because a lot of times those people that didn't want to mess with you when you called that list from a while back, they're going to be willing to talk to you during the weekend because they're not getting blown up. Agents aren't calling them. And a lot of times you can schedule listing appointments with those people, okay? And call fresh expireds on those Saturdays too, because a lot of agents aren't going to call fresh expireds on those Saturdays either. So the weekend, call on the weekends. The weekends are huge, absolutely huge. If you do all 6 of these things, you have my word. You're going to get a listing a week. You just have to do it and be consistent with it. Not just 1, not just 2, not just 3, not just 4, not just 5. All 6 of these, you have to be consistent with it. So let's go over it again because I have it in my notes. Number 1, call expires. Number 2, call for a long period of time. At a minimum 6 hours. At a minimum 6 hours, okay? Now, like I said, if you don't have business, you need to be calling from 8 to 8. If you don't have any business, you're just brand new, hitting the ground, okay? Number 3, be consistent and trust the process. So be self-disciplined, do what you say you're going to do, and stick to it over a long period of time. Trust the process basically means just don't focus on the results, just focus on calling every single day. Forget the results. If you don't get one person, one day, that if you don't get any appointments one day, that's okay. It doesn't matter the results. It's about trusting the process every single day. Number 4, follow up. The forces in the follow-up. Always be following up with these people over and over again. If you do it, you're going to be the last agent standing, and you're going to be the one to get the listing. And I want to make this clear. This is a gold nugget as well. If they don't pick up when you follow up once, continue to call them until you get them. Call them every day until you get them. Okay? Because once they tell you that, this is my time frame, they're giving you permission to follow up with them over and over again if they don't pick up after that time. That's number 4. Number 5, be mentally tough. This is not a game for the weak. These are the hottest leads in the market, but they're the most challenging leads in the market. And it takes a mentally tough person that's going to be able to get these people and continue to be persistent on bad calls and good calls as well, okay? Because you're not going to get every listing, but you got to understand. And I want to say that too. I want to make that clear because I didn't speak on that. You're not going to get every listing with expires because the competition is so high. So that's also when mental toughness is going to have to kick in as well. You got to understand, just got to keep being persistent and got to keep going. So be mentally tough. Continue to believe in yourself no matter what they say to you, no matter how much they say, cuss you out on the phone. Continue to keep pushing and be persistent and have that mental toughness. I'm sorry, I was probably talking too much, but hopefully I got my point across. And call on the weekends. The weekends is a gold mine. That's how you gain market share. That's how you get listing appointments. And how long should you call on the weekends? No different than throughout the week. Call at a minimum 6 hours. Now, you can start at 9 a.m. I'm not a big fan of calling at 8 a.m. on the weekends. Now, Monday through Friday, definitely start calling at 8 a.m. for sure. Call the fresh expires and then call the old ones, whatever the case may be. But I'm not a big fan of calling at 8 a.m. I usually start like at 9 or 10. Because usually people like to stay in sleep in a little bit later, which is completely understandable. So, but call on the weekends. That's the gold mine, okay? The weekends are a gold mine, and that's when you need to be calling. Okay? That's how you get market share. Okay? Hopefully this helped, though. Hopefully this helped. I'm gonna put all this in the aren't you supposed to put it like in the bottom? Yeah, in the bottom of this YouTube video, and I'm gonna add my Instagram, and I'm gonna add my TikTok. So if you guys can follow me, my Instagram is pretty small right now, but I look to grow it into something really, really big. So, but yeah, I really appreciate y'all watching. But that's how you get one listing a week. You have my word. If you do this, you will get one listing a week. You just have to do it consistently and trust the process. Okay. If you guys have any questions or concerns, I have all my information on the bottom of this YouTube. And yeah, look forward for my next video because it's coming soon. Thanks so much for watching.